Ladies and gentlemen, it's the greatest day in the history of the Kevin and Bean Show. Actor, writer, comedian, musician, genius, the great Dan Aykroyd has joined us on KROQ. Dan.
That's some of that stuff. It works, doesn't it?
Right? It still holds up, my friend.
I didn't do it alone. I had great collaborators. Oh man.
Still holds up.
But you deliver it amazingly. Those lines, some of them, I couldn't say if I practiced them 50 times.
Well, the Jack Webb stuff, he was a great writer, and he loved L.A., of course, and that was a definitive L.A. movie, in a way. Yeah. And, so I just took the cue. I went to Universal, I sat there and I watched 50 Dragnets, over a week's period, and then went and kind of imitated not only not only his voice and that, but I imitated his writing style, the way he just put words together. He was great. Him and R.I. Senator, they were great creators.
Can you still get Tom Hanks on the phone if you need to?
Tom told me that when my name comes up on his speed dial and the on the display on his desk, that he will always answer it.
There you go.
All right. There you go. That's nice.
Have you tested that?
Yeah, I've called him a couple of times.
Dan, we almost don't know where to start with you because we've all been fans our entire lives. But I guess we might as well start with Ghostbusters because you're in town for the Fan Fest celebrating the 35th anniversary of Ghostbusters. What is going to be going on down there?
Well, yeah, it's in conjunction with the Wizard World Company. They throw these great conventions all over the world with characters and basically celebrating movies and the characters in movies and the well-knowns of the Marvels and the Supermans of the world, DC Comics. So we're getting to be well known after 35 years. And on the 7th and 8th at the Sony Picture Studio lot in Culver City. The main event will be Saturday, but things going on 7th and 8th. We're going to have a fan fest for all Ghostbusters fans who want to come and share in costume contests. Ray Parker Jr. is going to be there. He's a wicked guitarist, by the way, besides that song that he wrote. And his music is...
Bean, of all people, he speaks the gospel of Ray Parker.
Oh, no, he's a great arranger, and he's really a strong player, and his sons play with him in the band.
Well, he was a child prodigy. I mean, the guy was playing, as I often tell the guys, he was playing with the Rolling Stones at age 17.
No, he's a serious musician. Yeah. And then costume contest, photo ops, panels. We've got Jason Reitman, who's directing the new movie. Ivan will be there. Paul Feig, who directed the Spectacular Ladies movie. Boy, were they great, and I enjoyed that picture so greatly. And Dave Coulier, plus about 20 other franchise cast and crew. So,
wow.
All that's happening. Tickets are $150. I got to say that. We got to pay, because we got to clean up the lot afterwards. But 7th and 8th, Sony Picture Studio lot, main event Saturday, and I'll be around. You'll see me, and please don't be afraid, Ghostbusters fans, to come up, whirl me around, and take a selfie. That's why I'm there.
That's very nice of you to say.
You know what's wonderful about it is also we're working with Stand Up to Cancer and the Omaze group, and they raise money for these research teams all around the country that produce all of the knowledge that we're going to need to defeat this, hopefully, in my lifetime.
Are amazing.
Yeah, and Ernie and I are going to be doing an Omaze experience. Omaze is a kind of a web-based charity drive that
you buy raffle tickets.
That's right.
And then what can I win?
What you would win meeting me.
Huge.
Well, we've already met you. Why should we even...
No. Ernie was Ernie too.
Yeah, Ernie, yeah.
That's a big Twinkie.
The Omaze experience will have Ernie and I playing a game with them, and we're going to just hang out with the winner and treat us. So Stand Up to Cancer is really a great tie-in here.
It's so wonderful.
Everywhere we go, we're not here just to make money and exploit brands. You got to make the world better.
You really do.
And
so that is today and tomorrow, by the way. Today and tomorrow. Ghostbusters.com. I know there's a lot of information flying out here, but Ghostbusters.com is where you can go to get your tickets and get all the information.
Yeah, and you come in, and the money, part of the money, the proceeds, Wizard World will be donating to Stand Up for Cancer directly. So
that's great.
Amazing.
Really
Dan,
cool.
we believe, and this is a consensus in the show, that Ghostbusters is in the top 5 comedy movies ever made. Do you concur?
Yeah.
What's he going to say? No?
What if he did?
I mean, what are the other 4? I mean, Mad World.
Great movie.
Well, we would put it
Animal
Stripes.
House.
Animal House.
Stripes.
Anything with Bill Murray in it.
Caddyshack.
Anything with Bill.
Caddyshack. Classics. Your era, your people, your era was
Ramis,
the greatest comedy ever made.
And the common denominator, of course, Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
There in Animal House and Ghostbusters.
Now, I understand. Tell me if this is true or if this is just some legend legend that has been created around you and the creating of Ghostbusters is that you are a believer, as was your father, as was your grandfather.
And great-grandfather. It all started with Sam, the dentist there in Kingston. He was like the reviewer in town. If when a psychic act would come to town, oh, this guy levitates. Oh, this guy's a great medium. Oh, this guy's trance-channeling. Oh, this is a precipitated painter. They're interesting because they sit there with the canvas about 4 feet away and they wiggle their fingers in front of 400 or 500 people and there's paint produced from nothing, basically. And so he was the guy that would say, no, that was a hoax. No, there's a trick there. Oh, that's the real thing. So he kept journals in trunks, and we got his journals from the 1920s. And we had seances in the old farmhouse. We had a family medium named Walter Ashurst, who was a mechanic.
I wish I was in your family.
And so my dad wrote a book, History of Ghosts. You can get it on Amazon, Rodale Press. I think we're trying to get it digitally re-released. But if you look at kind of my great-grandfather's work, and he'd be very happy now at the exposure of this. Mm-hmm. Before our movie came out, no one knew what ectoplasm was, really, outside.
I was just going to ask, is all of Ghostbusters real then? Is that how you wrote it?
Well,
is it a documentary, Mr. Aykroyd?
I would say so. Certainly that we took the research of the American Society for Psychical Research, and we used that, and nobody knew what ectoplasm was.
Right.
I mean, millions of people now know what it is.
Sure.
And now you have these terrific shows like Travel and Entertainment Channel. I love their stuff. Mm-hmm. The hospitals and the prisons and the places they go. There's ghost hunting societies in every county in the United States.
Are you in one of them?
I'm not, but I know that Ghostbusters helped originate and inspire these people to go and look into this stuff. And now we have all kinds of people.
Have you seen a ghost for reals?
I never have. I always thought that one got into bed with me when I lived up on Woodrow Wilson here in Los Angeles. And by the way, it's nice to be back in Southern California after the winter that I've been.
Let's go back to the ghosted
Well, that house was owned by Mama Cass, and it was also a rock and roll house. And people used to come up from the Strip, and people would walk up and in bare feet in hippie time, and nobody knew who was coming or going. And a guy, so Mama Cass, she died in London though, but ghosts travel.
Sure.
They don't need a ticket.
That house has seen
and
some stuff.
So a one-night friend of mine, he was a boxing champion for the U.S. Army. He said he saw a big black shape walk across the stairs. And there was another guy that died in the house. He overdosed, and they buried him in the hillside. And the current owner of that house should know that in the hillside there's some bones there. Oh. And that ghost,
that seems important.
My daughter saw him, and he had a little red-haired kid with him when she saw him. But one night I went home, and Donna and I, we had an experience where the jewelry on the desk started to do a little tornado whirl. And once when I was alone in the house, I lay down and I felt something depress against me, like depress the mattress. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, what can I do about it? Nothing. Right. So I just kind of wiggled up.
What do you mean, what can I do? Don't you want to turn and look?
Well, no, of course. I was terrified.
Yeah, okay.
And so I just kind of wiggled up against it and just went to sleep.
Oh, man.
And it turned out to be a hippie.
Maybe he was a Richard. Maybe we used to call him Richard, the one that was buried. Maybe he was a same-gender preference man. I don't know.
One of my biggest dreams, not only to hug a bear, and if it killed me, that's fine, but another huge dream of mine is to have sex with a ghost.
There's a great scene in the extended.
Yes, but that's my dream.
In the extended version.
Dream. You did my dream in that movie.
I know. She comes down and she undoes the belt.
Yes.
And
that's become a bit of like a cult scene. People love that.
She was a real woman. Her name was Kimberly Herron. Yeah. And she lived up in Santa Barbara there.
We have so many more Ghostbusters questions for the creator of Ghostbusters, Dan Aykroyd, in studio with us here on the Kevin and Bean Show. The Ghostbusters Fan Fest is happening today and tomorrow. You can get all the details and all the fun stuff, including the Omaze auction at Ghostbusters.com.
Culver City.
That's right. Sony Pictures Lot.
Yeah.
Dan, stick around. We're going to come right back after a very quick break and pick your brain on some more stuff, okay?
Anything you want, man. Thank you.
Let's do it.
It's Kevin and Bean on KROQ.
Right? Dan Aykroyd in studio with us here on the Kevin and Bean Show, talking Ghostbusters, also talking Blues Brothers.
We would like to dedicate this song to a recently turbulent chunk of real estate at the end of Highway 41, just south of the Alligator Alley in the Florida Peninsula. And to a certain distinguished resident there, you may know him, Mr. Wayne Cochran. My brother Jake will sing about that town. Going back to Miami. Going back to Miami.
Holds up, Dan.
No, it sure does.
I mean, the blues are forever. Let's face it.
Love it.
How about Schaefer on that B3?
Yep.
John's vocals
Incredible.
are great. Steve Jordan, 19 years old, the drummer, amazing. Al Rubin, Tom Malone, Lou Marini, Otis Redding's guitar players, Duck Dunn, and Steve
You don't forget
Cropper.
a person.
No.
Yeah,
Well, he
that's
put together one of the
impressive.
greatest bands of
I
all
know
time
that.
for
It
the Blues
was, it
Brothers.
was, and that first record sold 4.5 million copies. You know, Rihanna would be
Wow.
happy with sales like that.
Yeah, anyone would.
Yeah.
I saw you guys in '78 at the Meriwether Post Pavilion in Maryland. It was one of the best concerts I ever saw at the
Wasn't
time.
that? Yeah,
it was
I know.
incredible.
What a great tour that was.
Is
yeah.
it true that there's a Blues Brothers TV series on the horizon, Dan?
Well, you know,
feel like
we
that's
have-
always true.
We have a little. We have an idea. We worked with Bento Box to work up some animated figures. You know, possibly. I think it's just you know, the best thing to do is just get on the electronic services and buy the music. That's the way you're going to get it today.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Quick question. This is an aside, but I just have to ask only because you're coming into the Kevin and Bean Show on the day after we lost the great Dr. John. He was in
I'm
Blues
sorry,
Brothers
I didn't
2000
know
with
that.
he passed away yesterday at 77.
Where? In New Orleans?
New Orleans, yeah.
Oh, I did
you
not
had him. You had him in that Blues Brothers 2000 with that amazing band with Billy
Sure.
Preston and Isaac Hayes and all that. Any
Season of
quick
the Witch he did for us.
quick thoughts
That's a
on
great
the
record,
great
too.
Dr. John, who I would encourage our listeners to go back and pick up his music if they've not heard it.
Oh man, what a generous, wonderful, music-loving soul. I remember John and I were orphaned out here at one Christmas, and all we couldn't go back to our families, and he invited us over for Christmas dinner and an incredible jam. And geez, that's too bad. I'm sorry.
Hey, way to bring the
he did
interview
Season
down,
of the
Bean.
Witch for us on the Blues Brothers 2000 record, which was, you know, that movie was a favorable companion to the first one, and I lost all the weight, you can see, and but that record's very hot. And
That's so sweet that you have those memories of Dr. John.
Oh
then.
yeah, no, he was wonderful. I used to hang with him in New Orleans all the time. Right place, wrong time. I hope
That's right.
we'll play that today.
I just want Dan to schedule all the music for the show. Another couple of quick Ghostbusters questions, and then we have a presentation for you. Our friend Jensen has brought a gift for you, but I want to, and I know you have a gift for us as well.
Okay.
I wanted to ask, the legend around Ghostbusters is it's a miracle it got made. It was super, super expensive, right? And you guys had to write and film it and edit it and do all those special effects in something like 10 months. I mean, it was unbelievable how fast this thing came together, right?
Well, the Columbia, Frank Price, and the people at Columbia were excited about it, and they greenlit it. And we had Mike Ovitz as an agent, of course, the great founder of CAA, one of the greatest agents since Lou Wasserman in the business, and he got it railroaded right through. And Ivan was there. Billy was hot at that time. You know, Ivan and we were at the peak of or just starting to ascend to the peak of our career. So, and the script was appealing. Once Harold and Ivan and I wrestled it into a shooting shape, it really was. The studio could see, oh, this could work. The guy who didn't like it was Carlos Gozueta, who was the chairman of Coca-Cola Enterprises at the time, and that Coca-Cola owned the studio. And he saw the movie. You know, we got it made. It wasn't that expensive, around $30. That's what pictures were being made for then. And
but for a bunch of unknown TV actors, though, essentially, right?
Well, Billy had stripes at that point.
Okay,
and,
all right,
you
gotcha.
know, and I think we had stuff in our reputation before that helped us get it going.
He just didn't like
we'd
it.
done 1941, John and I, and we'd done Blues Brothers, of course, and you know. But he didn't like it. The chairman of Coke, he walked out and said, "This is going to be." And then when the Coca-Cola stock started to blip up, with the 13-week run we had at the top of the box office, he said, "I like this movie."
Bet.
Now I love it. When people come up to you, everybody has their favorite quote from Ghostbusters. What do you hear the most? Is there one that you can point out and just go, everyone says that to me?
Let me see. It just popped in there, I guess, is the. But you know, I get the Blues Brothers. It's 106 miles to Chicago.
Sure.
We got a half it with full tank of gas, a half a pack of you know.
Is that a satisfying thing to have written something a while back and still have people?
You know what?
say
I
it
had
to
a
you?
very nice evening the other day in Los Angeles. About a month ago, I was back here, and Quentin Tarantino said, "Hey, we're showing the Blues Brothers at my theater. Would you like to come?"
All right.
And so Quentin and I sat there with
At the New Beverly.
Yeah, and
Wow.
and I watched the movie for the first time since it came out with an audience of 500 people.
That's so
all
cool.
the laughs worked. John's performance was
Wow.
amazing. And the Elwood character, there's barely a glimpse of me there. That's a buttoned-up performance, I must say. And the whole thing really worked. It just worked today. It was so wonderful. All the music, and boy, it was. It really worked. I was kind of yeah.
You should be. You should be proud.
That makes
It's
sense.
eternal.
That makes sense that 500 people would go see that movie because everyone loves it. I, on the other hand, find one of my favorite movies of all time is Nothing But Trouble.
You're young, Jensen. You're young.
I'm so obsessed with it.
You're young.
When I lost my dad, not to make it sad, I didn't necessarily know what to do. You're in that weird position where you're like, what am I going to do? I opened up that movie and watched it for the first time since I was a kid, and it's like at that time it was like an old fashioned. It's like a mashed potato dinner. It's like comfortable,
like a comfort blanket,
and it is such a great fun movie. It's the only thing you ever directed, correct?
It is, and I guess what happened there was it's a very serviceable comedy, and everybody was terrific in it. John Candy, and it was a fun world. But we came out against Silence of the Lambs that weekend, and another big female picture, Julia Robertson, Sleeping with the Enemy, and Desert Shield started.
Wow.
So the movie really didn't have a chance. It didn't have a chance.
I'm making you sign a DVD of it for me. But beyond that,
I like that picture. I do.
You should. Here, this is a pin of Judge Valgeise.
Yeah. I'd like to go to Warner Brothers actually and say, hey, we should do a podcast kind of weekly series with the judge.
Please remember me and everything that I do for a living. If I ever received an ability
there you go. Yeah. There's a hair. Yeah. Dutch Herefords. You come through my jurisdiction, I'll tell you right now, you get a speeding ticket, you get off. You're going to get off. We're going to party down, boy, I'll tell you right now.
And you hate bankers.
Oh, you betcha. I'll introduce you to my daughter, Eldona. Maybe get all hooked up and married up.
All right,
Dan can die now.
Dan, we know that you're on a schedule, so I would like to point out that you brought us a gift as well.
Oh, yes.
You don't mind.
We were talking, Ali, we were saying you like vodka with additives, right? You like to add things in there. Everybody does. Everybody.
Crystal Light every now and then.
Yeah, sure, or orange juice, or, we won a medal in Moscow for the Crystal Head vodka. Here it is.
I'm sorry, you said you won a medal.
Said Moscow.
Yeah, the Russians voted as excellent taste out of 400 beverages. The thing with Crystal Head makes it different from all other vodkas. No terpenes, no sugar, no additives. You're adding tomato juice, Clamato, you're adding Saint Germain, you're adding Crystal Light, you're adding orange juice. You don't need anything. So, we start with a vodka that's clean, and then bartenders love it because it's the base for great cocktails. Bevmo has it. Total Wines has it. Wine Warehouse has it.
And the best bottle ever.
And Mastro's at the beach, they have them all lined up, and they make a salted caramel martini there at Mastro's down in Malibu. Wow. Really great. So this is for the crew.
Thank you.
I recommend it on ice with a little lime, or definitely in cocktails. Crystal Head, 70 countries, made in Canada. In Newfoundland, we start with that Newfoundland water that's never been touched by the eerie plume of pollution.
Is there nothing this man can't do or sell?
It's Dan Aykroyd, guys.
The best.
Ghostbusters Fan Fest today and tomorrow, celebrating the 35th anniversary of Ghostbusters. Tickets available and all the details at ghostbusters.com. Get on down there, get your tickets, and meet and get your selfie with Dan Aykroyd himself. Also, the great Ernie Hudson, who we've had on this show a couple of times before, too, will be there as well.
Yeah, Ivan's going to be there.
Reitman, Jason
Ray Parker.
Reitman,
Maybe Ray Parker. Maybe Bill Atherton. He said he might drop by.
All right. Dan, come by anytime when you're in town. We'd love to spend some more time with you, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the Kevin and Bean Show, the world famous KROQ.